As opposed to a greener grass on the other side, Olayinka Oyegbile explores the realities associated with the modernization in his recently published book, The Dirty Leap. A society forfeited of morality, The Dirty Leap speaks of how people migrate from urban to the rural areas in search for greener pastures but entangled with making wrong choices. At the book launch, Oyegbile, who celebrated his 50th birthday, was greeted by friends, families, colleagues, and government functionaries who spoke about his dedication to journalism and the society. In attendance were Father of the Day Chief Alani Akinde, reviewer of the book Dr. Lola Akande, a lecturer at Unilag, special guest of honor General Ahmed Bubamarwa, represented by Mrs. Ibiba Odili. In review of the book, Mrs. Lola Akande gave a brilliant review of the book with an excellent touch on literary criticism. The author and host Olayinka Oyegbile and others also spoke on the published work of art. The unveiling of the book took a dramatic turn as an attendee asked the management of the NDLEA to take decisive actions on drug addiction in Nigeria.
Also, by not resolving the problem at the end of the dirty leap, perhaps Oyegbile is deliberately modeling his teacher or sufficient, who at the end of Once Upon Four Robbers invites the audience to take a decision on what to do. Elsewhere in Africa, Oyegbile's play also calls to mind Naguib Mahfouz's 1945 novel Cairo Modern, which emphasizes a new era in Egypt and examines a period in Cairo when young job seekers are presented with a number of difficult choices. In Oyegbile's play, The Dirty Leap, what takes place is a vivid portrayal of the implication of moving from countryside to the city. The mass movement of people from the countryside in search of better opportunities that are believed to be available in the city but lacking in the countryside has been quite a common phenomenon. In June 2017, for example, a report by the News Agency of Nigeria, the then Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Babatunde Adejare, disclosed that not less than 6,000 people come into Lagos State on a daily basis. Similarly, Vanguard newspaper report during the same period quoted the then governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, as saying that 86 migrants enter Lagos every hour. Unfortunately, Lagos, like many other modern cities in the world, has never succeeded in solving any of its own problems, let alone be in a position to cater to the needs of immigrants who throng it on a daily basis without any plan to leave. Consequently, jobs are scarce, infrastructures are overstretched, survival is difficult, depression, desperation sets in, and crime and criminality are rife in Lagos. This is the reality for Yusuf, Seidu, and Hadiza in The Dirty Leap. Who will provide a job for Yusuf? How would Hadiza survive in the city? Hadiza has no skill, no competencies, and she's barely educated. Would Hadiza's life drift in the same direction in which nearly every woman who comes into the city without a skill or an education tends to drift? Prostitution? Although the play does not dramatize this line of thought, events in the play suggest that Hadiza will eventually begin to give what she has in order to get what she wants, considering that her brother Yusuf cannot even take care of himself, let alone his sister. Additionally, Sikira's modesty tends to lend credence to this supposition. Plus, the city is known for its waywardness. The reader will be right to conclude that Yusuf is likely to continue to follow the footsteps of his friend and mentor in the city, Seidu. This conclusion is perhaps justifiable in the light of Yusuf's inability to articulate how he plans on dealing with Chief Awole. His result is far from being convincing. Also, Yusuf's friend, Seidu, does not hide his status as a regular prisoner. When the prison warder advises them to go and make sure una no come back here soon, Seidu is quick to respond, how man go survive if he no come back here? When they get home, Yusuf complains that he is beginning to feel the pangs of hunger. Seidu's response is instructive. That is why I told you, it is sometimes better to be in prison where you are fed free of charge. Clearly, therefore, both Seidu and Yusuf are likely to continue to go on surviving by breaking the law. One issue of concern in the Dirty League is the perennial women bashing to be found in much of Nigerian literature from the Onitsha literature period to the present. In Cyprian Ekwensi's novel,
it is based on drug trafficking and politics. What I intended achieving with it is to educate our youths and our politicians that we must empower our youths, we must empower people rather than use them as cannon fodders to be trafficking drug and all that. That's just so that I won't reveal everything in the play. That's just the little I need to say.
How did our generation resonate with self-talk?
Every generation will resonate with every generation, because what I did there is not restricted to a particular generation alone. It is meant for a general populace and the world to learn from it. Read, watch, and learn from it.
And lastly, is there always a dirty lip?
Yes, the dirty lip here is looking at how people jump from the village. You say, oh, the town is better, we get, but you get to the town, you discover that there's nothing. For instance, many people leave their villages and come to Lagos, thinking that Lagos have all the big things, or you go to New York and think they have all the big things, but you find out that it is not like that.
Your name, sir?
Dr. Oyegbile.
I appreciate that. And I have to say that I have been coming from Ibadan this morning because I want to attend this day. From there, I will move into the chairman's, the man who is supposed to share the occasion today, who is Dr. Honorable Ladikubo Adebutu. I'm sorry that he couldn't be here personally, but he has asked me to represent him. And only that he will not be here physically, we will not regret his absence here. Well, I have to talk about the subject matter, that is what you have written in the book. Although I haven't read it, but I have been hearing the little that the representative of Brigadier Uba Marwa was saying. It's all about drug. Well, we also, somebody like me and some others, we were growing from youth. We were youth before we get to the 80s or something like that we are. But at that time, when I was like 30, 40 years ago, nobody dare go near or smoke Indian hemp, whatever it is, all these drugs. Apart from the fact that the law is there to take care of that person, we don't do it. But these days, maybe 40 years after that, you just find everybody, they say this place is one corner. They'll be drinking or smoking and doing all sorts of things. I think we should appeal to the law enforcing agents to strengthen what they are doing, especially that organization where Brigadier General Buba Marwa is heading. We have been reading and we have been seeing on the televisions what he has been doing since he assumed the chairmanship office. And I know that all Nigerians are praising him. I also want to praise him, and I want you to let him know that we appreciate what he's doing. He should do more. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The chairman regrets that he couldn't be here because he is a politician, and they're going to have an occasion this weekend. And there were some other developments yesterday. He has to travel to Abuja yesterday. So that was why he couldn't be here. He also loved to be here because he wanted to be part of people who will condemn these drug things in our society. So please accept his apology, and we will, by the grace of God, myself, the author of the book, and all of the people that are here will not regret that he's not here. Thank you very much.
Well, I will say that the review strikes many perspectives. The kind of upbringing that children have, and what they face in the environment, in the society, how some people are able to contend with whatever pressures that they encounter, and how they are able to survive. Some are able to survive, some manage to, whereas it's a huge pressure on some people also. That's just one aspect of it. But then when people are imprisoned, the whole idea is to make them change, to, how do I put it, to sort of revive, take the dirty lip, so to say, out of them, so that they become better people in the society. I think that prison cells, our cells, those who manage, the cells, need to also consider the fact that there needs to be a better way, not particularly, but I'm talking about the judicial system, the way that our laws are made, and how we attend to issues promptly, so don't allow it to drag to get. People don't get justice at the end of it, and I think that's also crucial, and it borders on corrupt practices. So we all just need to have a sense of integrity in whatever we do, to remember that we are, people occupy certain important positions, and they see people, the leadership, levels, So it's important that you watch your back, watch what you do, so you don't corrupt the people around you because they see you, yes, as role models. Thank you.
Is there always a dirty lip?
There is always a dirty lip, to be honest with you. There is always a dirty lip. No, wherever, you find yourself, you find people around you who would want to say that, look, you have to eat of it, even if, get your share of it, of the national cake. Those kind of people constitute people who, put their hands, in a very dirty manner. Whereas there are some people who are decent, who do not want to stain their hands and integrity. So there is always a leap, whether, so you have to know how to take that leap out of those kind of pressures. It's just my interpretation. I've not read the book, but, and I want to suggest that the writer, puts it on stage so that it will travel beyond the page to the stage, and from stage to a larger viewership and audience. It's a pleasure.